Okay, hey Professor, my name is Razib Kaur and today we are going to present about the BDET 1006 data visualization subject. The final assignment is based on the open data visualization and storytelling. So my group members are Jasleen, Razib Kaur, it's me, and Lakshmi Rajendran. Moving further to the story. This is about our dataset. The dataset is about the shooting related occurrences in Toronto that are reported at the Toronto Police Service. All the shooting related occurrences are contained in this dataset. So the shooting incidents in this dataset include both firearm discharges and shooting events, which are defined as shooting event, firearm discharge, persons injured. They are previously classified as victims, and the injury levels are death and injury. Sometimes the firearm discharge and the shooting results in death also, and sometimes in injuries. So, limitations of this dataset is the location of the crime spot that have been deliberately offset to the nearest intersection node. This is done just to protect the privacy of the parties involved in the crime. Further, moving before moving to the charts, we sorted our dataset. We removed the null values that and then we set the dataset above for the analysis for the charts and the dashboard creation. Moving further to the chart, this is the geographical map of Toronto, showing the number of cases reported at the neighborhood of the Toronto. So, Toronto is considered as one of the safest city in Canada. But over the years past, homicide rate of Toronto is above the national average. The assault rates are slightly less than or as same as the nation's average rate, but the robbery and firearm offenses are more than double the average. So to plot this map, we have a column in our dataset called geometry. This that shows the longitudinal and latitudinal values as a combine, and so we applied the trim function in the Excel to get these values separated and got the two new columns, one as longitude value and the other one as latitude value. And using this latitudinal and longitudinal values, we plotted this map of the that shows the number of cases reported of the number of cases of the shootings and firearms reported at the each intersection. So here there are some darker circles and the lighter ones also. The darker circles indicates that there are the most number of cases reported at this intersection for the shootings and firearm discharge. So here it is represented the darker circle. It's showing that there are a number of 35 cases and the death count is 4 in the Black Creek neighborhood. So moving next, so there are more cases again from the Black Creek. The count is 23. So there are smaller ones also that represent that the count is only 1 or 0. The death rate is 0 in these areas. This is all about the geometric representation of the places, of the intersections, regions where the shooting cases have been reported at the Toronto Police Service. Now, I would like to invite my friend Lakshmi Rajendran to take the presentation forward. Thank you. This is from all my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajsi, for the presentation. Hi, Professor. My name is Lakshmi Rajendran. The story point that I would like to discuss is about the number of cases and the growth in the number of cases reported in Toronto. So you are seeing a line chart over the time period from 2004 to 2020. So the data set that we got is from the year 2004 to 2020. So if you see in the data, the line chart, you can see that in the year 2005, the number of cases reported on homicidal activity or cases related to shooting got a spike or rocketed higher. The media's even called this year as the year of the gun. The number of people died because of like gun related shooting activities increased. Um, and there was some protest that is happening, which led to the reduce of number of death or cases related to shooting. Um, but this kept on fluctuating until 2014. But from the year 2014, the number of cases reported on shooting steadily increased, and by 2016, the number of cases reported were double the cases reported in 2014. So the main reason for the increase in the gun violence is because of gang activity, and these gangs using guns are the main reason of the increase in homicidal activity. And the Toronto police have been keeping tabs on all the gangs they could, but it seems like the number of cases is kept on increasing as the year goes on. And moving to the next story point. The second story point is based on the safest time to travel without the fear of facing a shootout or seeing a fire gun discharge. Um, so if you see over here, in the data set given to us, there was a categorical column which categorized different time of the day as a fourth category, that is morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Morning is categorized from the time of 6 to 11 a.m. Afternoon is from 12 to 5, and evening is from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., and night is from midnight 12 to morning 5 a.m. So this is how the categorical values are categorized into. So if you see in the multiple line chart, we can see that there are evening is the time when most number of cases are reported, and the cases report are drastically increasing over the year. And if you see on the pie chart shows the count of death reported at different time of the day. It is evident that at evening we are having most number of deaths, that is around 247, and the number of cases related to shooting is around 100,983. And the number of cases reported is keep on increasing, and the second most dangerous time or unsafe time to travel is night, with a total of 217 deaths rate and a total of 107,769 cases based on shooting. The most safe time that is suitable for traveling is morning. There is only 33 cases, and the number of cases reported based on shooting is only 302. So this is how like the story points tell us which is the safest time, which is safe for people to travel without the fear of um, firearm discharge. Thank you. Now I invite Jaslyn to explain the rest of the story point. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for your presentation. Hi, Ali. My name is Jaslyn, and here I will be going through the location or the neighborhoods which are the safest to live and which are not. So, till now we have saw the shooting or a firearm discharge through the geographical map, and then we saw the rate of increase of the crime over the period from the year 2004 to year 2020. And we have also analyzed that the evening and night death count rate is more as compared to the afternoon and the morning, which are almost the half from them. So now, based on the data we had, so we have calculated the neighborhoods which are more safest to live and which are least safest. So here we have used the tables to have a clearer view about the number of deaths and the injuries uh, happen in Toronto region. So we have used the filter and we have filtered the data and have calculated the top 10 neighborhoods which are safest to live, and these are the the bottom 10 which are not safe. So on the left hand side we can see the top 10 areas, including the Forest Hill North, the Forest Hill South, Gilwood, High Park North, Woodbine, Lumsden. So these are the neighborhoods which are having zero deaths and least number of injuries as compared to other, which makes them the safest among all. And the on the right hand side, neighborhoods like Black Creek, the Mount Olive, Silverstone, Jamestown, West Humber, Clearville, waterfront communities, the Island, Glenfield, Jane Heights. These are the neighborhoods which are having the high number of deaths and great number of injuries if we compare with the other ones, the other data, and which make them the least safest neighborhood or the least safe place to live. So one thing on the map we have checked is that we have came to know that all these areas, these are the neighborhoods which are almost the center of the Toronto region, and they are the safest places. And these are the regions on the map. We can see that these are on the northwest of the Toronto region, so which are least safe at. So we have used the tables and we have filtered the data to overview the top safest places and the least safest places to live based on the death and injuries occurred from the data set we have. So this was all about our presentation. So these are the references we have used for this project. So that was all about our presentation. Thank you so much for watching this video.